3-4 points.
Last 3 to 4 classes, sir.
No, sir, not 3 to 4 classes. The last class,
Hmm.
last 10 to 15 minutes of class.
Okay, I'll just repeat it. How we can able to use our Docker composers. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Let me share my screen. Okay, so I'll repeat
Sir,
one more time. Yeah,
sir, sir, today is the last day of Docker, sir.
exactly.
Then tomorrow, from tomorrow, sir,
Kubernetes.
can we going to start Kubernetes? Okay, sir.
Yeah. So, so I'll start from again Docker Compose. So, what is Docker Compose? So, the Docker Compose is a tool for the defining and running the multiple container apps. So earlier, before Docker Compose, we are using Docker, right? So Docker, we are able to run it only one containers, right? Every time if you create it, there is only possibilities, only one container we can able to run it. But in the live environment, okay, so if you're running the single container, there is no users, right? Because there is a three-tier architecture. For example, web server, they are going to use it Nginx. App server, they are going to use it Node.js. For database, they are going to use it MySQL. So there is no connectivity in the Docker. So that is why what they have done it, they introduce called Docker Compose. Docker Compose, what it will do, we can create a, we can add all the multiple images, okay, and in the single YAML file, we can able to create the all multiple container with connection, okay, from uh, Nginx servers to your app server to your DB server, okay.
Sir, in a single container, different kind of images.
Exactly. So here we can able to, in we are going to write a YAML file. Did we write any file in the Docker concept? No, right? We are just running the command. We are using the images, right? We will use the image and we will create a container. But if we are talking about in multi-container, we should mention the all the images. So if you're able to see it here, I'm going to use it Nginx front end. The back end, the DB, we are going to use it Postgres, right? So same thing if you want any Node.js application, yes, again we are going to write a one more images we will add it, we will build it. So if you're able to see it, the entire stacks web plus DB plus cache in one Docker Compose file and start it with the one command. So again, to bring up the containers, okay, there is only one command that is Docker Compose up. It will start all the services and start in the background detached mode. And if you want to stop and remove the containers, is Docker Compose and Docker Compose PS to list all the services and Docker Compose logs. Okay, these are all how you can able to use a Docker Compose. So there is a difference between Docker Compose. Okay, so Docker Compose used for multiple containers to running on the single node. Okay, and we are going to define and run multi-container application with a single YAML file. That is the main. You got it? Any doubts on this Docker Compose?
No, sir.
Let's move on to Docker Swarm. So I'll complete this the presentation so that you will understand. Then I'll move to the practical. Okay. So what is this Docker Swarm? So Docker Swarm is a Docker built-in tool for the container orchestration. So we can able to manage multiple Docker containers across the servers or the nodes in the one cluster. If you are able to see it, this we call it as a managed node. Okay, this will be a raft consensus. This is going to be taken care of the task scheduling. That means where the container should be run. And if you're able to see it, each worker nodes, we can able to run the task. We call it as a containers. So we are going to use a multiple worker nodes here. There is a four workers are there. Earlier time Docker Compose, we are running it only one worker node, right? But now we are going to use it at least three worker nodes should be there. Okay, so that if this worker node container, if the worker node is deleted or something goes wrong, your application still it is running on the worker 2 and worker 1. Got it?
Sir, can you
And
repeat it again, sir? Can you repeat it again? Let
yes,
us see.
so Docker Swarm, this is the architecture diagram of Docker Swarm.
Okay.
So to set up the Docker Swarm, we should have a one managed node and multiple worker nodes. Okay. So if you are running any of the applications, so we are going to run it on the all the containers in the all the worker nodes. If one worker node is down, your application still it is running because your application it is running on the worker 1, worker 2, worker 2. The managed node, what it will do, it will segregate it to all the worker nodes to create a one container so that if one server or one virtual machine or one EC2 machine, if it is down or someone is deleted, still your application is running. So why do you use it? Okay. So earlier days, we are running the Docker Compose in the single machine. When comes to Docker machine, we are going to use a multiple worker nodes. That is a difference. So to get the load balancing features, fault tolerance, scaling, and overlay networks. Okay. These are all the features available in the Docker Swarm.
Okay,
And
sir.
if you are comparing the each one, okay, for example, left side you are able to see the criteria: purpose, learning curve, scaling, self-healing, networking, configuration management, storage use case, right? If you're able to see it how it is came from Docker, next it is moved to Docker Compose, Docker Swarm, and Kubernetes, right? So Docker, where we are using running the containers, Docker Compose multi-container dev environment, and Docker Swarm simple clustering for the testing or low workload if you wanted to run it. And if you wanted to use it productions environment, is we are going to Kubernetes. So here is a comparison tool for the each one. Okay, how it is moved from Docker to Kubernetes. And so here is a when to use what, right? So you can able to decide it. Okay. So Docker. So package a single service or app. Run a containers on the local machine. You can use it, build CI/CD pipeline images, test it in the isolation. That means you can do it on your local machine. Then you can able to use it Docker. When you need to use Docker Compose, run multiple services locally, replicated production stacks in the dev, share the dev environment via YAML file, and run integration test. Then Docker Swarm, it will come into the picture. Cluster with complexity, scale the Docker Compose to prod, small team, and simple ops, migrate from Docker Compose to your cluster. Then Docker Swarm to we are moving to Kubernetes. When to use it? Large scale production workloads, multi-team, multi-namespace isolation, auto scaling, self-healing, okay, and cloud native ecosystems using the L Mistio. Many future, if it is required, we are going to use Kubernetes. So this is how from Docker to Kubernetes we are already moved. Okay. Any questions regarding this Docker, Docker Compose, Docker Swarm, and Kubernetes?
Sir.
Okay. So, so now let me back to the theory of Docker Swarm. So we can able to deploy the across many servers. So if you're able to see it, we can able to run the application many servers. Okay, this is example I showed you. Maybe it can be 100 worker nodes, right? And we can able to scale the services and scale down. Handles a failure automatically. I told you right earlier, if something goes wrong on the worker node, automatically it will handle the failure and it will create a one more worker node and balance traffic between the containers. So each one it is having a balanced traffic to the containers. So why do we use Docker Swarm? One is for I told you earlier, okay, high availability, scaling, easy cluster management, load balancing, and rolling updates. So the main components in the I mean Docker Swarm is that is a master node, and these are all worker nodes. So advantages of Docker Swarm is we are able to learn, easy to learn, easy to okay. Then this is built in Docker, so no need to install it separate tool, all those things. Then fast setup and lightweight data load balance and secure communication. So if you're talking about disadvantages, so less powerful than Kubernetes, smaller ecosystem, limited auto scaling, less popular today, and fewer advanced networking features. So these are all the disadvantages. So when to use Docker Swarm, when to use Kubernetes, right? So if you are running in the small of the medium project, use it Docker Swarm and learning for the container orchestration, simple deployments. So teams already using the Docker, then you can able to use it. Fast setup for the environment. And when to use Kubernetes. So if you are running on the large scale production systems, advanced scalings, complex microservices, multi-cloud deployment, use ecosystem, then you can go for the Kubernetes, right? So now what I will do from the let's start from Docker Compose practice. We'll do the Docker. So, any questions till now? The theory.
No, sir, no, sir.
So I'll just create a three node. Okay. Number of instance, you make it three year. Right side, are you able to see it? Number three unit. I mean, 3 to 4, you can keep it. And let's use Ubuntu. sorry, let's use at least two virtual CPU and 4 GB RAM. Let's use key pair. Let's use 30 GB. So let's start from the Docker Compose. To do the practice for the Docker Compose, we need only one machine. Okay, I'll I'll just try to log in, and later we will set up the Docker swap. Let's go and connect it. So I'm already having a command to install the Docker engine. Let me do it. So you need to refer always for the installation of Docker because frequently they will release the updates. But the command will be same. If you're using a Docker, you need to use it Docker commands. If you're using a Docker compose commands, you need to use it. Now let's update the packages. So let's verify it. So we are getting a permission denied, right? So what we need to do? We need to execute the command called Docker post installation. We need to give the permission. Let's execute and refresh it. You need to execute this command to get the permission. Let's paste it and just re-log in it. Let's verify the Docker version. So now Docker version also it is installed. Let me verify it. Docker compose also, right? So both the version it is already in place. Any question?
No, sir.
Yeah. Now earlier we know it how to use the command, right? You need to just type it Docker. It will shows all the commands. Same thing, Docker compose also we should use same command. Docker compose help. You can use it. It will shows all the commands how to use it, right? Here is the commands. Now let's clear it. Now to run the uh, multiple containers, we'll use one of the scenario. Okay. Now what I will do, I we need to rate a compose file. Okay, so that we can able to run multiple. Earlier days we are using only one container, but I'm going to rate a compose file. Inside the compose file, there is a multiple images are added. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create the compose file. Let's insert it. Okay, let me make it cat. So what is there inside this file? we are trying to create the web server, right? If you're able to see it, Nginx with Alpine, and the port is running on Nginx is 80 and 443. And the next one, we are going to use it load balancer. Okay. So load balancer also I'm going to use it Nginx with Alpine, and the volumes I'm going to use it. Under the volume, I'm going to copy my nginx.conf to this file because under this is a home directory for that. All the related Nginx configuration, it will be stored under here only. So that is why I'm going to create a volume from local to, I'm going to create a one more file called nginx.conf. Inside there is a configuration will be there, like port number and what is a port number and proxy, everything. So we'll copy to this destination, and depends on when web server is created, this should be created, and the port is 80. Okay. So here images is same, but the what is the work it is doing here? Different work it is going to be done. So here this will just stay a web server. Here we are going to create the Nginx proxy backend. So now I'll create a one more file called nginx.conf. So this is a live use cases. Okay. So here is a configuration file with proxy details and what is the location and what port number it is listening, everything it is already available. How many connections should be there, everything. So this will be decided by your developers because they knows it, right? Now let's try to bring up the containers. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a Docker Compose. This is a default for every time. I'll up and -d used for what is it? Start in the background, right? And so right now I wanted to scale to till three. Three containers should be running, right? I'll just hit enter. So what it will do, it is pulling the images and it is creating a network. I have not b- mentioned, but still it is required in the backend. And Ubuntu, Web Server 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Container for the Ubuntu. The name it is created. Okay. Don't worry because we have written in the YAML file. So let's clear it. Docker compose ps. See, are you able to see it here? Three web server are created. Okay. One is for Ubuntu load balancer. That means we can able to access it using, this is a front end. Okay. These are all back end. Now what I will do, I'll just access it. Right. Now we are able to access the default web page. Now what I want to do, this is a default website and we are able to see it. But as a developer, they don't want default. Okay. They are going to uh, publish any e-commerce website. Now what I will do, I will add some content without login to the content, log into the Nginx server container. I'm trying to add the content called echo welcome message to web server 1. This message it will store under this index.html for each container. Okay. So if you're able to see to web server 1, this will go and it will save it. Let me do it for all three so that we'll get to know how load balancing is working, how multiple containers are working. Now just go and refresh it here. Are you able to see it? Welcome to web server 1, 2, 3, right? So load balancing also it is happening and scaling also it is happening. Sir, why do we moved from Docker Compose to Docker Swarm? There is a disadvantage, right? I told you we can able to run on one node, one node only we can able to run the worker node. That is why if we need more feature, we are reached to Docker Swarm. Any questions about Docker
No,
Compose?
no, sir, not problem.
Yeah. Now, what I will do to set up the Docker Swarm, okay, we need install it all the Docker on the all the machines. Okay, it can be a managed node, worker nodes. Docker installation is mandatory. Okay, so now what I will try to do, let's try to install it. So what I will do for this one, I will make it as a manager node, and this one I'll call it as a worker node 1. Here I will call it as a worker node 2. So now for the manager node, we already installed the Docker. Now let's try to install it on the worker node 1. Connect, and I will connect it to worker node 2. So if you're able to see it, here you'll get to know what is the, this is the first one, worker node. Okay, and here is worker node 1 and worker node 2. Let me refresh it so that it will show your here also. Are you able to see it? Manager node, worker 1, worker 2. Okay, so let's clear it. So I'm going to execute the same command to all the worker nodes. Okay, so let's do it. Let's see, installation is default for everywhere. Let's just copy paste the command so that the Docker will be installed. I'll just copy pasting all the command to the both the worker nodes. You need to execute it simultaneously so that you are not going to skip any commands. Okay, so let's clear it. Let's clear it here also. And so just type it docker info. So if you're able to see it, there is a server, right? Under that, there is a container is running, images, everything it is running. Keep down here. Are you able to see it? There is a spam. What is it showing? It is showing inactive.
Inactive.
Yeah. So that means Docker Swarm it is not active. Now we will initialize it. Okay. So how to use this Docker Swarm command? Again, Docker Swarm. Just type it. Just type it. Are you able to see it? There's a init and join. Okay. So these two command you need to use it. Okay. Now what I will do? I will initialize the swarm. Okay. Just type it Docker Swarm init. So once we initialized, are you able to see it swam initialized current node? Okay, that is your manager. And to add the worker node to this swarm, run the following command. So what you can do, you can just copy this exactly. For example, if we lost this the command, okay, or the token, yes, we can able to retrieve it. Okay. So then what I will do, I'll just, okay, what is it is saying? Permission denied. Why? Because we have not given the permission to the Docker. Let's rerun it. Let's refresh it. Are you able to see it? This node joined as a swarm as a worker, right? This is also, let me execute it. So it is saying same, right? So where we can able to see it, right? We can able to see it in the Docker node ls. Are you able to see it? Where there is a star mark, this is the leader. Okay. The Docker swarm, it will get to know which is the one leader, which is the one worker nodes. Okay. So it is active and all the version it is the same. While setup Docker swarm, it should be a Docker engine version will be common. You should not make any changes. That is why while installation you need to do it execute one by one. So Docker swarm hyphen help. I've already showed you, right? These are all the commands will be there. Like init, join. If you wanted to join the token, if you wanted to leave the swarm, unlock to the your swarm, update it to your if you wanted to update. All this is the command. It is available. And if you need Docker node ls, just use help command so that it will shows. You cannot able to remember it, right? Just use it. Let's Docker swarm ls. Sorry, Docker node ls. So here we are able to see the nodes. Now I wanted to run the application. Okay. So in this scenario, I'm going to use a Tomcat image to create the application, right? So here we are going to little bit talk about the different commands. Okay. So we are going to use a command called Docker service. Okay. So this is a command to create the your containers. Okay. Now what I'm trying to do, Docker and service and create. Again, you can just type it Docker service help. It will shows all the command. I want the two replicas or three replicas. Three replicas means three containers. And the name of the container is Tomcat. What is the image you are using? Tomcat 8 version. Okay. Just let me make it three, right? We have a not. Let's keep it three. Just hit enter. So this is preparing the task. So this will be completed. Till completion, we should wait. Right. So the service has been created. Now, how to see that service? This has been created or not? See, this is the services. Now, if I wanted to see the container, right? Docker service, PS, just hit enter. Sorry, we need to mention the service name also, Tomcat. See, here it is running your containers with the IP address. Okay, this container, which node it is created, just try to use docker node ls. Are you able to see it? 72 it is created, one node, 155, 205. Okay. So that means as per the diagram, each worker node it is created a each container. If something is deleted, yes, that is it is going to be added. Now what we can do, I'm going to just shut down this server, right? So what this containers it will do, let's analyze it. Okay, let it down. In the meantime, docker service ls command also we have seen it, right? And just use help command. Okay, it is not showing, but you can able to use it only docker services ls. Now let's clear ls and node ls. Are you able to see it? It is saying it is shut down, right?
Yes, sir.
It is moving from 150 to 72. Okay, let's wait for some time till the move. So maybe it can be terminated also, right? The server may be terminated also. I'm just showing, I'll shut down the server, I'll start it. But same use cases, right? If something goes on the worker node, obviously the load should be moved to different node. In the meantime, let's try to scale the containers. So how to scale? Okay, to the container. So as of now, there is a three, right? So just use Docker service, scale, and mention the service and the containers. How many you want? Four. Okay, this will be created four replicas. Now you can verify it. See, four are the right running 9 seconds ago. Okay, so this is how we can able to scale the containers. Now, if I wanted to delete the entire services, that means all the application, or you can call it as a service. In the Docker Swarm, we call it as a services. Okay, we should use always to create the application to delete everything. So I'm going to delete it. Now we can verify it. There is no containers, right?
Yes, sir.
Now let me start it here. Okay, let's clear it. So now we'll talk about the rolling updates in the Docker Swarm. Rolling update means the developer he has done some changes in the code. Okay, something is wrong. So the new feature it is not able to running. So how to without a downtime, how we can able to rolling updates. So now what I will do, I'm going to use the command. Again, I'm going to create the service with the different images. Okay, what is the image? I'm going to use a Docker service create, and the name of service is Jenkins. Two replicas should be there. So this should be update delay only 10 second, and publish. I'm going to use it the port number called 80801, and target is 8080 of your image. Okay, this is the Jenkins. Now what I will do, let's access the 8080 because still we are not created, right? It is not up. Let me keep it this page and let's try to create it. So the target is 8081, right? Yeah, let me make it. So are you able to see the the login screen? How to log in this Jenkins we'll talk about in the Jenkins topic. But are you able to some output? So once we wanted to, the developer wanted to update the package. I mean the image. Okay, now what I will do? I'll update the images. So if you're able to see it, Docker service update and the image, and I'm going to use it. This is the image name and this is the service name. You can able to use it anywhere. You can able to before, after anything. Now let me try to do it. Sometime if the image if it is not running, you need to go to the Docker hub. You need to check it out. What is the correct image? Okay. Make sure that that is also you need to verify. So you need to just verify it. Is there any changes on this portal once we update it? That is what you need to do. Yeah, it is running. Running means there is no issue. Okay. Now let's go and refresh it here. Are you able to do? Are you able to see it? Some changes is happening in the backend. Earlier we are able to see the different images, but here we are able to use it different. That means we can able to a rolling update also. Okay. So update we can able to do it anything.
Yes, sir.
So that is all about the rolling updates. Now, so again, if you wanted to remove the services, what is the command you need to use it? Docker service rm Jenkins. Okay, just clear it. Now let's move on to the networking. Okay, so in the Docker Swarm also, networking is very important. Okay, because we are using Docker Compose, Docker Swarm everywhere. This is very important. So now we wanted to container communication across different nodes in the cluster. We need to communicate it, right? So let's create a bridge network here. So here also there is a bridge network. Let's verify it first. Now what we can do, Docker network ls, right? So if you're able to see it earlier, when we do Docker network ls, only three are there, right? One is for bridge, host, none, right? Now if you're able to see it, there is a default is Docker underscore gateway bridge and ingress, both it is added. So this is one we created, right? Okay, that you can leave it. So when you initialize only for the Docker swarm, you will get another two networks. Let's clear it. Now what I will do, let's try to create the bridge network. Okay, with the subnet range. So I'm going to create the bridge network. This is a subnet and gateway and the name of the network. Just hit enter. Then you can verify it. See my bridge where it is, right? This is the one we have created. Now let's run the Nginx server with the defined. That means we are going to, which is the one we created, we are going to run it on this. Now what I'm trying to do, I'm going to try to run the Docker container run -d rm. Okay, after the creation, it should be deleted. Name of the our containers, and I'm going to use it bridge network. I'm going to use the image. So right now I'm just comparing how earlier we are running in the containers, right? Docker container ls. So we are able to run the container, right? Now we need to create the overlay network because Docker Swarm, uh, we have we should use it overlay network. What is where it is overlay network? This is the one we need to use it because bridge network we can able to create it. We have already seen it how communication is working, but we need to see that overlay network, right? So let's clear it. Now let me create the overlay network on the Docker Swarm. So you need to execute whatever your configuration in the manager node only. Do not execute anything on worker nodes. Just close it out because everything taken care by your manager node only. So now let me hit enter. Let me verify it. Are you able to see it? There is a one more overlay network. It is created. What is it is saying? Swarm. And here also it is showing Swarm. Earlier, which is the one we have created for testing, that is showing local only. Okay, that is the difference. Now I am going to create the two services. Okay, one is for web 1, another one is for web 2. Okay, let's see that how communication is happening. Now if you are able to see it, Docker service create the name web 1 and I am going to use it same network and here is the image. So now we are trying to check from service to service communication is happening or not. Because backend it is running on the container only, right? If the services are working fine, obviously there is a backend it is running. So let me try to filter the web only because we have a many thing. Okay, we are able to see it here. So now let me try to log in. Let me copy this container ID. I'm just trying to log into this container, Docker. So log into the container, it is same. Only service creations will be different. Now I'll mention it slash bin sh cat slash etc os hyphen release. Okay. So we're able to see that alpine is the OS, right? Now, so this is how we can able to create it and you can able to log in it. Okay, the content. So just exit it here. The communication, everything, you can try it out. The communication is happening or not. Okay. Docker ps hyphen. Okay. So from different containers, if you wanted to test it out, is you can able to test it out using the IP address. Earlier days, how I used it, same thing you can able to do it. Now, any questions related to the till now, the concept? Sorry.
No, sir.
So you will get little bit confused about the commands. Okay. Make sure that you do practice
Yes, sir. I have to
in
do
that.
hands-on to do.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
all the three Docker, Docker Swarm, and Docker Compose.
Yeah, so that you will get the flow. Okay. Now let's move on to the volume. So how to create the volume in the Docker Swarm? I'm going to show it you. Same command you need to use it to verify it. Docker volume is already created or not. Okay, there is no volumes. Now I'm going to create the volume name. With service also I'm going to create it. I am not going to use it. Sorry, let me create it first. Volume. Okay, let's verify it. Volume is created. Let's try to run the Docker service. Okay, I'm going to just create it. Same thing. We have done it in the storage, right? In the container, same thing you need to use it. But we are running the service creation. Okay. So now we are able to create it, right? Now let's verify it. Containers are created or not. Okay. So where is it? 27, 27, 27. Up to 3 months. 3 minutes ago. How come? Let's what we can do. Hmm. Docker service PS and what is the name we are given? Nginx, right? Yeah. Okay. So it is already running. Let's copy Docker. No such containers. It should be running, right? Okay. So here, how to log into this container? The container it is not able to run it. Why it is not showing? Let me recreate it once. Mm, Let's use any of the. Let's use Jenkins. Invalid. We'll use HTTPD. Sorry. Already Nginx already exists. Okay, let's try to remove it everything. Let's clear it. Let's remove the container. Let's stop the container using this command. Let's remove it, all these containers. Let's remove the services also. Everything will delete it. Make it as Docker container. I think Docker service. Yes. No, I think everything it will be deleted only. Let's try to create the service. Yeah, service. PS. Sorry. PS. What is the name? Nginx. Yeah, that's fine. It is running. Okay. Now, I wanted to know, right? So from worker node, manager node, you are able to see that where it is running, right? If you wanted to see it in the graphical user interface, there is a swarm visualization. Okay. So we can call it as a fancy tool, which is showing to be showed in the visualized, like graphical user interface. It will shows all the containers it is running on the where. Now let me create the Docker Swarm service. Okay, this is also same thing. Okay, now what I'm trying to create the services name called Wiz, the port number here, and this is going to be shows the role of the manager. No need to select it here, and mount I'm using bind, and source is here, and destination is here, and I'm going to use the image called Docker sample slash visualizer. This is a someone is created. I'm going to use it. Just hit enter and access it. Just type it here 8080 so that you can able to see the visualization where your container is running and services it is running. We'll see it. Okay. Now just go back to here. Just refresh it here. Are you able to see it? So worker node here and worker node manager and here. So all the worker nodes it is showing the container it is running and where it is running. We'll see it. If you wanted to scale it, okay, just scale Docker service. Okay, what is the command to make it? Let me replicas, right? Yeah, hyphen replicas. I'll mention it 4. And what is the name you are given? Viz. Okay, let me try to scale it. Docker service. Okay, so it is running only one. Yeah, let me try to do it. Scale which let's wait for. Are you able to see it? It is started.
Yes, sir.
So the visualization also you can able to see it. Okay, let's wait for here. So now we can verify it here also. See. Now the last one is how to log into this, which is a one we created. Okay. So again, I'm going to create a Nginx only because earlier it is not showing the container. I'm not sure why it is not showing. 8081 is already running. We'll keep it 3. Okay, it is a okay. The name it is conflicting. Docker service ls. Okay, both it is there, and Docker container ls. We should see iPhone. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so let's what we can do, which is the one we created for. Okay, let's take it this one only to log into that container. Docker exec hyphen it slash bin. Yeah, we are already in the container, right? Who am I? df hyphen h, and you can able to use what is the OS everything. Cat etc. Okay, we are in the alpha in Linux. So this is how you can able to log into that container also. Okay, any questions? So this is all about the Docker swap. So if you wanted to see the logs, yes, you can able to see the logs, and you can able to inspect it. Okay, everything it is possible. But only thing is make sure that all the containers it is running on the all the worker nodes. That is how we need to set up the Docker swap.
Yes,
Any
sir.
any questions?
No, sir.
If nothing, what we can do, I'm going to share the notes today end of the day,
Okay, sir.
and we'll start from the Kubernetes uh, and tomorrow. Okay, we'll
Okay,
see
sir.
it on tomorrow. And if you have any questions tomorrow, let me know. Only theory, okay, about
Okay, sir.
any confusion, anything. Hands-on, you need to do it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So let's wind up for today's session. Let's catch up tomorrow. Bye bye.
Thanks.